Welcome to the experimental branch and version 1.1 of Satisfactory. Or technically it's like 1.101 or something. I don't remember. So just a quick recap here. The first thing we're going to start working on is concrete, and I'm going to head that way to start putting down stuff for concrete. But just want to recap last episode real quick. We put down the smelters, so we're making steel. We've got no, those aren't smelters. What are those? Foundries. Foundries are making our steel. We put down all the smelters. That's making our iron. We've got smelters here making Caterium and copper. And then the quartz is coming up with the constructors. And we're turning it into silica and the quartz crystals. And we did discover, I think it was that set of 8 down there, that when I was running down looking at it, I'm like, something does not look right. There's not enough ore on this belt. Ran back, found a conveyor lift that it looked like it was connected, but it wasn't connected. So I wanted to just get everything running at 100% so I could run down through and make sure it all looks right. I just threw a bunch of floating platforms out here, threw down a bunch of sinks. A sink can take, I don't need this many sinks, but I don't have a fast enough belt to combine any of these. So I have to have this many sinks right now. So we got it all running at 100%. Steel looking great. Iron looking great. Copper's looking great. Caterium, minor issue. The smelter's blueprints are all set up. 1 belt feeds 8, works out, 30 input, 30 output. I knew the Caterium, it only outputs like 12 or 15 ingots. That's fine. I didn't realize it was 45 input. So these are a little messed up and they need changed a little bit. I think instead of a set of 8, I need a set of 7. I'm not going to fix it right now. The 2 Caterium nodes, one is like there and the other one's there. They're pure nodes. As soon as we get the Mark IV belts and 480, I'm going to come back, right? Because we're doing the first set and we're doing the third set, and that's it. When we get the 480 belt, 1 belt will feed the first 16, or really it'll be like 14. And then the next one will feed the next 14 or whatever. So we'll balance out the 45 thing once I get the Mark IV belts and we have to redo it anyway. For now, we're using the 2 belts of 240 100%. Some of the machines are not running continuously. And this works perfectly too, but standing here and looking at it, I just split the crystal 120 and 120. And standing here and looking at it, I'm like, man, mid-game, I probably need less silica and more crystal, but we'll kind of see. So we might have to make some modifications there. And then, of course, our next setup here is the concrete. I got the 6 limestone coming up. Each one's 240. Got this here so I can snap. It's going to be the same blueprint as that. And I explained too in last episode, and I just want to cover it again real quick. Where's my blueprint at? Constructors. The smelters are set up because the iron and the copper, and I thought the Caterium, all took 30 input, right? So 1 belt feeds 8, so the blueprint's got 8, so each blueprint is 1 belt. And then that's why the blueprints are 9 to 7, 7 to 5, 5 to 3, 3 to 1, 1 to 0. And you just connect them all together and it just, boom, you're done. The constructors, though, we're going to use a lot of constructors on a variety of different things. And not only are we going to use it on a bunch of different things, but the recipes are wildly different. So for concrete, I'm going to have a ton of limestone coming in on these input lines. And we're not going to need nearly as many output lines. But when we take the Caterium ingots upstairs and we turn it into quick wire, I'm not going to have many belts coming in of Caterium, but we're going to have a ton of belts coming out of quick wire, right? So this blueprint, there's just one, and we're just repeating it over and over. And I will have to come back, unfortunately. And once I figure it out, I think with the concrete, I think instead of needing 5, I need 6. So when we repeat this, instead of using it how it is, I'm going to have to take this constructor's input and output and connect it in with these 5, which will just leave 4, which means the next blueprint, instead of taking the first one, I'll take the first 2, and then the last blueprint, I'll take the first 3, and that should work out. So one of the other features they've added, I don't know if I've talked about a single feature yet, but the first feature we're going to talk about is the ability to auto connect. And you can see it won't auto connect this far out, which is where I need it. But if I back up, it auto connects. And it's pretty cool because when I hit the mouse button, it will snap, and then you can see the auto connection. It'll go way out. You just have to bring it close to get it to connect. And then I can press H and go down and bring this back. And now I've got it exactly where it was, but it's auto connected. The bottom is not. Okay. And that's not their fault. That's not the game's fault. It's my fault because I didn't know when I made the blueprint that this was coming. So it just so happens that these three, it's a belt to a belt, and the game knows how to do that. This one is a merger to a merger. The game didn't draw a belt there. So if I was making these blueprints completely over, I would just make sure that I didn't have a merger or a splitter near the end, that it always ended with a piece of belt and started with a piece of belt. And then it would have connected those. So I'll have to manually connect those, which is fine because guess what? I normally would have connected it to where this runs up to that one, but because this constructor needs added to that one, we're going to connect this merger to that one, and then that merger is going to run up onto the next belt, if that makes sense. And the middle is going to be kind of the same, didn't connect the bottom, and of course this side it didn't connect the bottom. So that's that, and I did put it the right way around, right? Yes, okay. So I got to place 2 more of those down. So we are on experimental. I don't have mods because the mods haven't updated yet. So let's talk about that. The one mod I had was the manta ray lift or whatever it was called. And as the manta ray flies around, it was flying through the factory. So that mod made it just recalculate and fly higher. So however high you build, it just flies higher than that. So we don't have that. Not the end of the world. It's going to fly through one of the logistics floors upstairs right now. Whatever. We'll get that mod back, and it's just a visual thing. The other one's Fix-It Cam. I was hoping all these improvements to the in-game camera, and let's see. Now I got to back up for auto connect. Click. Do that. Get it back. And, again, I'm auto connecting, but at the same time, I'm also got to change some of those. So I don't even know that I need to auto connect. So I was hoping the Fix-It Cam would be replaced by the new photo mode. And they added a lot of really cool stuff to the photo mode. It's awesome. It's way better than it was. But the one thing I was using Fix-It Cam for was I was running around building like this. Did I connect them? I guess. I was running around building like this, but the Fix-It Cam had a fixed camera up in the air where I put it, and it was taking a time lapse. So you were asking the game engine to basically render my camera here that I'm using and render another camera up in the sky. So it was a massive performance hit for sure. And I can't quite do that with the existing photo mode. I can do everything that Fix-It Cam does if I switch this to multiplayer and I use a second computer to join, and the second computer account is just for a time-lapse camera. So I can technically do it. It's just a little more work. So when the Fix-It Cam comes back, I don't know. Will we take it? Will we not? I'm not sure. The last one, though, is Infinite Nudge. So they added vertical nudging, which is awesome. Or the last of the 3 mods, right? Not the last of the improvements. So they added vertical nudging, which is awesome. Great addition. Love it. Awesome. The other thing, though, that Infinite Nudge did was it gave me finer adjustments. So here's a good use case right here. I want a hole in the floor for this ladder because I had to keep, this is temporary. I had to keep running back and forth to check on the crystal to see if one truck was keeping up or if I needed to add 2. So I wanted a hole in the floor, but I didn't want it to be a full foundation. So, okay, I'd take some foundations and clip them. Well, what I would have done with Infinite Nudge, so this foundation's here, that one's there. They both have this overlap of right there, right there, right there. So you can see this rectangle, they're both there. And they're both trying to show their texture. It's called Z-fighting. So both of those objects are Z-fighting in this area. There's a one here, so it's also Z-fighting in this and that. And then, yeah, this one, there's some, I don't know. There's a bunch of them here, right? So they're all Z-fighting. And what I would have done with Infinite Nudge, when I placed this one, for example, I would have held Control, which on that mod I had set to 1 centimeter and down arrow, and it would have moved this down 1 centimeter, which is not enough for you to notice, but it's enough that the game now knows that those two are not on the same plane, and it's going to render this foundation's texture alone in here. And then it's not going to show the Z fighting because this isn't here. It's down 1 centimeter. It's going to show this foundation here, right? And so basically that one would have gone down 1 centimeter. If I was doing this one, maybe I'd do this one down 2, or, you'd work it out, right, to where there's no Z fighting. So that's my use case for why the nudge tool needs another update, right? It needs the fine control. I need to be able to move 1 centimeter for that. The other issue is my blueprints were made with Infinite Nudge. So lots of things like the constructor, if I try to put a constructor here, can't tell if that's all the way down. Is that? And you can see there. So I can clip there or there. I can clip there or there. I can clip there or there. I can't line that constructor up exactly how I had it. So if I delete this constructor, I can't put it back there. And the reason I did that was I've got all the blueprints, the 5 constructors or the 8 smelters, they're evenly spaced. So when you come down here and look, which you can't really tell, but those from where the blueprint ends to where the next blueprint begins is the exact same space as between everything. So they're all spaced out evenly, which I was able to do with Infinite Nudge. So, you know, I'll be glad to have my Infinite Nudge back just for that reason, because I want the fine adjustments. Or they could just add them, you know, add them to the game. Give us the fine adjustment. Oh, so here's another Z fighting. I guess I had the, I didn't realize I had this intersection sticking out, because I am connecting the blueprints together. All right, so we got the, sorry, there's a lot of talking and I'm trying to do stuff, but I'm getting sidetracked. So I'm ready to hook this up, except I got to make some changes. I'm going to make the changes off camera, and I'm at 11. I was trying to wait until I had 10, because we're going to need tickets. One's going to be for the elevator, and we'll talk about some more of the new stuff after that. But let me stop real quick and let me figure out, because I'm pretty sure it's 6, and then I got to, you know, take 1 out of that blueprint to this one, and then 2 and 3, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I do want to cover one thing that somehow they fixed. They didn't mention it, and I don't know how common it was, but basically I got to set all these constructors up, right? I got to set them to concrete, and so I can do Control C and go to the next one and do Control V. And what I have on my mouse, I've got buttons on the side of my mouse, so trying to run along and then take your hands off to do Control V is kind of a pain. So I set up a button on my mouse. Oh, Control V, right? It's just Control V. But what was happening before on the stable branch was I could do a Control C on my keyboard. I could go to the next thing. I could hit the button and it would paste. And then when I came to the next one and pressed the button on my mouse, it wouldn't do anything. It refused to do anything until I did Control V on the keyboard. And then on the next machine, I could use the mouse 1 time for Control V. And then I had to do Control V on the keyboard again. I have no idea why. It's weird. Like, it worked, but it only worked once. And now I can just run down with the mouse and just keep doing it. So they fixed that. And I also noticed when you copy and paste, it actually keeps the customization. So before, if I copied this and then I tried to paste it.
While I admire your investment in your work,
no, she says that every time the first time you put down a decorative item, she isn't happy with you. Before, when I put that down, it would be the default color, and I would have to change it to the custom color. Now, everything that you custom color when you copy and paste, it actually keeps it. Okay, I don't remember which one of these I was even on. All right, let me finish this. I'm getting sidetracked. I did just discover an error in my blueprint, because over there we used it, but we didn't use the upper belts for output. So all of these belts are the outputs. They should all be running this way. And when I tried to, so like I said, this is the 6th constructor. It's the first one from this set of blueprints. I needed to add it to this one. So I add it to that one. And then for the next set, they go up. Well, I got it to there. And when I tried to go to here, it wouldn't connect. And this conveyor was running the wrong way. So it was starting there and running here. And that's why it wouldn't let me connect. Yeah, but strangely enough, I thought the blueprint auto connected, even though they were 2 different ways. Like the auto connect will let you connect to that won't work, but yeah. So anyways, I'm going to have to change the blueprint. I'm just going to change this manually. I might change the blueprint and tear it down. Yeah, because I'm going to have to take out that belt the whole way. And I don't know if the other belts are messed up. Let me change the blueprint and tear this down and put it back, and then we'll come back. All right, I'm in my creative world. I just take a save it as creative, and then turn on the advanced game options. So this is the blueprint, the bottom one, and this is the front of the blueprint, right? Because this is where the little machine is on the blueprint designer. So this is the front of the blueprint. So when I put this blueprint down, I'm standing here. And so these should run towards the front, which this one does. Those 3 all run the wrong direction. And then coming over here, same thing. So yeah, I need to remove all of those belts on both sides. These should all run, and they look like they're all running the same. If you get a little piece of belt, it'll show you the angles and stuff. And it shows you here too, but yeah, and so you can see there that's running that way, and those are all running the other direction. And maybe that's why this wouldn't connect, because that's running that way and this is running this way. No, I think that still would have connected. And I do, on some of the blueprints, I do have room. I would have to nudge that up, wouldn't I? Oh, hold on. Do this. Do this. Make it straight. Hit H. Go page up. So I could do that here. Could I do it here? Yes. So I could fix this blueprint to where they all auto-connected. The smelter blueprint, I cannot. The merger and splitter or whatever is just too close to the edge. All right, I'm going to fix this real quick. So I got the belts reversed on both sides. On this one, I extended it out the same length as the other ones. So all 4 of these should auto-connect. And then down on this end, because before they all stopped here, I put down a temporary set, which was real simple because these are on the grid. So I was able to come in like that. I think I came this way 1, and then I came up 1. Yeah. And then I just clicked in 3 of them, and then I was able to run those 3 belts. Well, yeah, I put it back. I put it there, obviously. I was able to click those 3 belts into there. Then this one, I did the same thing as the other side. I clicked it to the ground and brought it up, and then I deleted the little post. So both of the ends are like that, and everything will auto-connect. The center is a bit of a problem. I did get these 5 in. I can't do those. And that's because I used infinite nudge on these. So if I try to extend this out and we go up, I can go there, here. I can't go in the middle because that's not an option. So how did I do these? Well, things will snap off of things. So if I snap that to there and press H and then bring it down and then bring it towards me, and I think I brought it a half. Yeah. This snapped off of that. So it's not in a valid spot according to the vanilla game, but because this was already in a weird spot, I was able to snap off of it, right? But I can't, if I could do this and snap that for just a second, and then I could bring the belt out and then delete this, but I can't snap it. That was me clicking the button, but you probably couldn't hear it because noise canceling. So I can't do that. So I did extend them out, these 5 and all of those. So everything will auto connect except for those 2. And this side's already up to the front on these. And then again, the same thing. I can't, it wants to snap at weird spots. And even if I do the half, wait, H. Isn't that the full amount? I don't know what I've done there. But anyways, I can't do it on those 2. There's not a way to do it that I can think of, because I need to put this thing down, but I can't snap it off of the, yeah. So anyways, I've done that. I am going to go ahead because I know most of these are going to end up with stuff next to it. So we'll go ahead and put the junction.
Questionable.
Yeah, see, I reloaded the save. I reloaded a different save, so she's going to say that. On this one, the front will connect, but I'm going to use it again and again, and I don't want to make another blueprint. So this will be fine. If we don't need it, we'll just put a T-junction back. And then on the very first one, we'll have to do that. And then I got the belts extended to where they should connect. So I think that's a finished blueprint. And I could probably go in on the smelter blueprints and fix some things, but some of them are going to be like this where they don't, because I'm pretty sure this is identical to the smelter. So yeah, just I need to oh, that's a sun. I'm like, how is that color different? Yeah, I need my infinite nudge to be able to fix that one. But anyways, so that's our blueprint. So let me go back to the correct world, and you might have noticed there's an elevator here. I was just trying to figure how that goes. Just ignore that. We'll get there. Go back to my other world here, and we'll actually do this. I tore all 4 of them down. I built the first one. I'm building the second one. So on this side, you can see it connected all 4 conveyors, just like I wanted. Now, the way the blueprint's set up now is this line just runs all the way through, and these lines don't do anything, because on this one, you know, with the, we're going to have 6 constructors, we'll come here and we'll basically break it here. And then this conveyor will go up. But if I needed, maybe I needed less, well, then maybe it would break there, right? So it's kind of modular. So you have to make that change. So that side looked good. This side's kind of weird. It's identical. Obviously, it's the same blueprint twice. It's identical, but it does not want to snap this belt to here. It thinks that this is a better option. Yeah. And I'll test that in a second. And then here in the middle, it didn't connect these, which I knew it wasn't, right? Because I could not snap to those. But here, it connected those, but it didn't connect these two. Even though it's just there to there. Is it too close to connect? Well, when I go farther away, eventually it's like, oh, I'll connect to here. Like, why wouldn't you connect there? I can only assume it's because this belt is kind of clipping the constructor. Not enough that it bothers me at all. I don't know if that's it. So yeah, for whatever reason, we'll have to do these two and these two. Okay, not a big deal. This one's confusing though. And so I'm going to put it down. Oh, crap. Yes. And you should never get down. I'm just going to have to. Where's the catwalk at? Yep. So right there. I'm going to go ahead and connect it. It scared me for a second. I'm going to wait for the conveyors to build. I just want to see, did I mess something up here? Because obviously it's flowing this way. So if I just take this belt back out, right, you can see, I mean, that's an input. And then this is an input and an output. Now maybe they're too close. Maybe that's too close together. But then the other side worked, right? Unless it said it was going to and it didn't. I guess we should check that. Nope, I think it... Nope. So it's identical, right? It should be anyway. It looks like it's 2 full pieces. Like if we call that a segment, it's 2 full segments. Is this... This is not the same. This is not the same, right? Because that's only got 2 lights. This segment's got 4 lights. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to say that didn't work because it's too close. So I could go back and change the blueprint. And I just, however this side looks, I need that side to be identical. Which it's not that, I don't think, because that lines up with the thing. Yeah, so this... Oh, you know... No, because the constructors are symmetrical. It's coming 3 lights out of that. Coming 3 lights out of that. Okay, I've done something wrong. I don't know what, but however that side is, we need to make this side identical. Why these don't connect, I'm not sure. So still a little bit of strangeness with trying to figure out how they auto connect. You know, and if my blueprint wasn't so cram tight, it would probably work better. All right, let me put 2 more down and then fix all this. I keep saying that and then I keep coming back, but yeah, I had to come back again. So when I went to connect, so we saw on that side, the segment that it connected was 4 lights. It was like 2 conveyor segments. And on this side, it was only, the hole was only 2 lights wide, 1 segment wide. But when I put it in, it changed to 4 lights and 2 segments identical to the other side. And then without touching the blueprint, when I do it down here, it connects that one the same as it connected that one. So there's something, and obviously, like, yeah, that's a valid connection point to connect into that merger, but it was much farther away and it still wanted to connect to it. But when you give it no other option, it does connect there. So I'm not sure. That's kind of odd, but yeah, so it connects there. This still doesn't do anything. Not that I would expect it to do anything differently. And I'm just going to bet if I deleted that splitter right there, that this would connect. I can't do that though, because I can't put that splitter back potentially in that exact spot. So yeah, I can't quite wrap my head around why it thinks that merger over there it should go to. So we need 6 constructors to do the concrete. Each one outputs 15. There's going to be 3 belts on each side. So that means there's going to be 18 constructors, but they're not going to be clocked at 100%, right? They're not all going to put out 15. Well, 6 times 3 is 18. So 18 constructors times 15, which we know it'll be slightly less than that, right? So what did I say? 18 times 15 is 270, which is how fast that belt is. But not everyone's going to put out 15 because I don't actually need 6. I need 5.3 or something. So output wise, I don't need all these. I actually just need the bottom belt. So I can delete all of these other ones that we painstakingly changed the blueprint for. So I'll be able to delete all of those on the outside and everything will run down one belt. In here, I only need 3 belts, right? So I was able to delete the one in the center. It's still down at that end though. And then we needed our 6, right? So there's that blueprint. So this is the first constructor on the next one. So it's connected here. So I need to disconnect here. And I'm just going to do all of these. And then I can't snap here. It's not going to snap right, but I can snap to that. Move down. Is that where the other one is? No, the other one's more in the constructor. How did I snap that one differently? Weird. Well, we can just snap off of that one, I guess. No, we can't, because it's not going to snap to the right width. No, I have to snap off this one to get the width. Oh, because that's the other one I snapped off of here. That looks like it. Yeah, because it's drawn the line. Okay. So I do that there and another one. Snap off that one. I guess it doesn't matter where that one is. That one can be there. We can get rid of this. Why do you say power line? And I haven't... This is another thing I've noticed. You saw it was doing power line because the power line was above me. I can't even see the power line. Like power line right there. It's dismantling the power line. See how it's highlighted above me? I'm looking out here, so I think my hitbox is intersecting that, right? So it's picking the power line. It's just that I don't remember before 1.1. I feel like if I stood here, I'd be selecting, you know, obviously there, it would select the power line, but let me try to get it back. Yeah, power line. And I feel like before, so I don't know if that changed to 1.1 or that's just my memory of things. So the reason I had to do that, I don't want to clip through, because we need to go down, but I didn't want to clip through the, what are these, splitters? So that splitter stops here, right? Because that's the 6th one. So now the next belt goes there and it's going to feed the next 6. And then that will go there and feed the next 6. And then I can get rid of that belt going down, right? So that's how I do the 2 sides. We just need 1 belt down each side. And then I need 6, and then I need 6 belts input. Each one feeds 6 constructors. So the first 6, and then that belt runs down to feed the next 6. And then after 6, then that belt will run down to feed the next 6. That makes sense? But it's not going to be this one. It's 1 into this blueprint. On the next one, it'll be 2 in, and then it'll be 3 in. Hopefully that explains it. This is getting complicated. Here's one more thing I don't like about the nudge thing that I can do with infinite nudge. Now, if I put this snapping to a foundation, or I think kind of almost anything, I can nudge it, right? Cool. But if I snap it to another piece of catwalk, you can't nudge it. So what I was doing with infinite nudge was I was snapping it there, and then I would, because it was basically aligned to the same grid as that, I would come back. I think on this one I would come back 3 and then up 3, or back 2 and up 2, and it would make it line up. And now I can't nudge it from there. Okay, so I have to nudge it from here. It's very picky about which way it wants to go. It always, whichever way you want it to go, it's like 90% it goes the wrong way. All right. So I can nudge it from there, and I can go back, and it just happens to work out. It gets pretty close, but you can clearly tell it's not quite lined up right? And so I can't do anything about that. I need my, if I had my 1 centimeter thing, well, if I had the ability to nudge off of this catwalk and just go back and up, it would line up perfectly. But also if I had the 1 meter or 1 centimeter thing, right? And then the stairs, look at the stairs. Oof. Yeah. Is what it is. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've got it all set up. We've got 3 sets of 6. Now I need 5.3 or something. So I could do 5 at 100% and then the 6th one at partial, or I could just set them all to 88.8888. Yeah. So I just went ahead and did that. So each one will take 40, because 40 times 6 is 240, which is what our belt is bringing in. So everyone's set identical. The power is hooked up all the way down. We're going to have 1 output on each side. I've already ran it over. I thought I was going to need 3 outputs because I didn't do the math, but I ran those over to the sinks, so the concrete will start sinking immediately. I've got the inputs all set up. I think we're ready, but you never know. So the bottom one's going to go here, and I'll just go through the modes and try to find the one. I think that one clips the least. I do really like the new curve, so that's one of the new features. Is in addition to default and straight, you have curved, which obviously doesn't, we're not really showing it off there exactly, but if I did that, you mean invalid shape? Huh? How is that an invalid shape? Wait, what? Am I doing it the wrong way? Okay, and then if we did curved, yeah, so you can see it does like a big curve as opposed to default or straight. Jeez. I guess I don't put conveyor belts down with no starter endpoint. All right, everything's stopped. I just went through and checked everything. What have I done wrong? No power. Oh, did we trip a breaker and I didn't hear it? I was going to say in the beginning that we're at 2,000 out of 2,400, and when all those kick on, quite possibly we're going to trip a breaker. Yeah, we tripped a breaker. We tripped a breaker. Don't worry about the 3,200. We're not really going to draw that much. Yeah, that was a possibility. So I guess what I want to do, I want to do one final check before I turn the sinks off on the other stuff. So I actually didn't even have to do that, but yeah. Let's disconnect these. So we'll go back to how we were. I will restart power. Oh, it's got stuff. No, it doesn't have stuff in it. So, I mean, it might have stuff in it, but it doesn't have power. It can't draw that much. What? No power. Yeah. We just disconnected everything we connected. Maybe the limestone miners are all trying to turn on and that's drawing too much power? Huh. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to disconnect something else. Maybe we'll disconnect. It's easier to reconnect those than it is to do the one going down. Okay, so we just disconnected these two. Does that give us enough to start? I knew this was gonna happen. I just forgot. Okay, what I want to do, and that'll let the limestone miners run and fill back up. So then we'll be able to connect this. But what I want to do with these running, and I probably need to wait a while. Man, I wish I would have checked that before. But what I want to do is I want to come down here and I want to check everything one final time and make sure and see that power surge definitely, that power surge, sorry, I just hit my microphone. That power surge definitely messed things up. I didn't mean to do that. All right. Yeah. I'm going to do a final check off camera. I'm not sure how long it's going to take with everything that's currently sinking. And then we're going to delete all these sinks and all these belts, which will stop all this power production. Then we'll reconnect that and we'll sync it down there. Oops. All right. What I actually did, because I had let it run for 4 hours, so everything was running as it would after 4 hours, and that power surge messed some stuff up. So I reloaded an earlier save. I had already built this in the save, but as you can see, I hadn't done some of the stuff, and yeah, this hasn't been connected to power yet. So I'm just gonna, on this save, I'm just gonna check everything. What I wanna see is every input belt should be running 100%. Obviously those are going to. Every input should be running at 100%. And not stopping. We don't want to see stopping. We want to see it like this. Now you might see like a little glitch for a second, which is we're using what we're making. So if the last machine is full, like it'll micro stutter like that, but I think it's correct. Yeah, so anyways, the inputs and then the outputs, they're not going to be 100%. We're outputting 240. Well, on the inputs too, we're outputting 240 on a 270 belt. So there's going to be some little gaps and stuff, but let me run around, make sure everything's good. Then I'll reload the save that I just made, which is, you know, right after the power clicked out. First thing I found wrong is this blueprint's power didn't connect to this one. So these two haven't been running. These two are not connected because the amount of coal and iron we're bringing in is enough for 6. And I didn't delete these because when we get the 480 belts, I'll need these 2 and another 4. So it was running 4 out of 6. And I did notice, and that's what made me want to reload the save, is I noticed when I came over here that this was stopping, and I thought maybe it was because of the power outage. So reloading the older save, I still saw it stopping. I'm like, oh, something's wrong. So there you go. First problem we found. I didn't have power connected to these last 2. And what we want to see, I watched the iron. I watched all 9 iron belts for a couple minutes. They're all flowing 100% and they're not stopping. And the last smelter in the blueprint, you want it to not be full. You don't want it to be empty. So we're at 15, 16, and it's at 100%. So this thing is running flat out, and it's got enough in here to keep it running, but it's not going to fill up. So as long as the very last one on each side, on each blueprint, isn't full and isn't empty. So like that one's empty, but it's still at 100%. So that means that it's getting the one just as it needs it. So, I mean, I would probably come and drop like 10 or 20 ore in there, and then I would feel good, but it doesn't matter if it's at 100%, right? So the steel's working good. This is working good. I'll keep checking. Yeah, I ran down through. There were some that were like in the 90s, so I dropped them to 50. And then whichever one, that one, and then I don't know, another one was really low, so I brought them up to 50. So basically the last one in each section on each side should have about 50 in it. The reason that's important, I didn't really explain it. Each machine, when it stops, when it runs out, it stops. But then it has a lag time before it spools back up and gets into production. It's not immediate. So you don't want, if it's, let's say it's running out, it's stopping, and then a split second later it gets what it needs, it takes a couple seconds to start up, and then, well, then it's gained some more, so then it should never run out again, right? But that one was getting exactly what it needed, so dropping it up, or pumping it up to 20, it's not going to stop, and we won't have that spool up time. That's kind of what we want, because we want it all flowing. So there you go. And then I think I had already noticed, yeah, so we had some stoppages here. The Caterium absolutely won't stop because I need 6 point something smelters and I have 7. So It's absolutely not going to stop. The copper one, this belt is stopping. That one is not. So I need to go figure out what that is. And see, this last copper on the belt that keeps stopping is at 100. If I split it and then put 50 back in, he'll stop. See, and then he spooled back up. But by having room for 50, and you can see it's building, right? That's because the belt can carry 270. So when the belt stops, there's extra on the belt, right? And so I maybe shouldn't even have done it that high. Come on. Do that. Once you do it, and then it stabilizes, you shouldn't have to do it again, and the belt shouldn't stop. At the end of the day, we're producing the same amount of stuff. I just don't want to see the belt stop, especially if we have, what, 270 belt carrying 240. There should be the occasional gap on the belt. On the raw quartz line here, where we're making silica this side and crystal that side. So the last one, and it's been running for 4 hours. We're at 41, 42, 39, right in there. So it's been running for 4 hours. It hasn't hit 0. It hasn't hit 100. So that one's at a good spot. This one, I didn't need that constructor. So it actually stops here at this one. Everything's in my way. So it stops at this one. And this one also is sitting around 30. So that's good. Now, in a second, I'm going to delete all of these sinks. Well, not the concrete ones. I'm not going to delete those. But I'm going to delete all these sinks and all these belts. Everything's going to fill back up. And then when I'm ready to restart the factory again at some point, we'll have the same problem. We'll need to go to the last machine and throw half of it away. Or you could have a smart splitter. Smart splitter set to overflow on the input belt. And each time the input belt stopped, you just sent it to a sink. That would do the same thing. It wouldn't have to do it for the first 10, 15 minutes, and then everything would work out. Anyways, long story short, everything that we've got is working. I did discover, we fixed the copper, but that doesn't matter. It's going to happen again. But I did discover the steel had 2 things that weren't connected, so that would have been a problem. All right, let me tear all this stuff down real quick. So I forgot I was in a different save. So I reloaded the save right after where the power had tripped, and I came over here and I connected those again. I don't need to do anything else. The copper is going to stop on that one belt, but it's going to happen again as soon as I tear all this stuff down, and it's all going to back up again. So that was the only thing I needed to remember to tear down. So now I'm going to tear everything down. I'm not sure where the sugar cube is right now. Oh, it's on the way back. So this has been running for 4 hours, probably 5 hours now. And the truck station's staying empty, but this has not run out and it hasn't filled up. So it must slow. There's no way I hit the number exact. Okay. There's no way. It must be slowly filling up or slowly emptying. I don't know which. I would have had to stand here and record what the number was each time the truck, like right before the truck docks or at some specific point. One truck is approximately the right number, which also means if I don't have to keep coming down here, I can tear this floor hole out. All right, I've got everything. Got everything tore down, like I was saying. Got everything tore down. Oh, we don't need that either. And we'll get rid of that. Yeah. Okay, just give me one more second and then we'll hook the concrete up. And I think I just need 2 over there anyway. All right. So a lot of the machines are still running. Some of them have stopped. We've dropped way down to 600. So I should be fine now to connect the power back up to this, which I wish I had just taken the ceiling one out. I was trying to, when I did it, try to get one that's about as vertical as I can. I think these power lines, and I might have said this already, I do think these power lines are perfect for outside and running from pole to pole. In here, though, you wouldn't do that. I can think of no time where you would ever have a flexible cable running down connected to a permanent machine that's never going to move. You sometimes do have flexible stuff, but not in this circumstance, especially not like, oh, that cable's going to power all this. No, there would be a conduit running down especially since this isn't on the machine that could move, it's on the steel beam. You would 100% have a steel beam and a conduit running down, and then this would probably be like a duct or something. Yeah. All right. Anyways, I'll probably have to let this run for a while to see. Yeah. It's stopping right now, but that's because every machine is completely full, 100% all the way down. I'll probably have to do the same thing where the last one I take out. Yeah, let me do that. Okay, it's only been 5 minutes, but it looks like it's all running properly. I didn't think about it. The last machine in each row was actually empty because the power went out, and so everything stopped. What was actually wrong was the very last, the fourth blueprint. I needed 3 of them, and I hadn't connected those 3 to the blueprint before. So that is why that one was stopping, because the bottom one wasn't stopping at all. It was the top one that was stopping, and I thought the middle one was stopping, but I didn't do anything to that one. So anyways, I'm just going to let it run for a while longer just to make sure. But we got the concrete done. Yeah, that took like significantly long. Sometimes I double click and it just doesn't register it. That took some significantly longer than I expected to do that. So let's move on to a few other things real quick. One of which, come over to the awesome shop with our 15 tickets. And so I'm going to want, I don't even know that I want conveyor wall holes for the way we've designed this building. The throughput things, yeah, definitely going to want that. Don't need pipeline attachments right now. You know, the shelf thing is cool because you can put these on it, but then at the same time, like, do people use these? I mean, the moment I got the real storage container with the conveyor, I've never used these. So, I mean, it's cool. You can put them on the shelves, but I don't really use that. I've definitely still got some stuff I want to unlock in here. Definitely need some more foundations still. We've got a lot of walls because we're not building walls yet, so I'm not as worried about that. Okay, elevator. That's definitely what we're going to unlock. We've got 5 more. I played with these. I like the H-beam and the shelf beam. I'm not sure what I would do with the round beam. And then the braided cable and the cable cluster, which is a bigger cable. Those will be really cool on bridges, suspension bridges, or some other things. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to use them for. I did talk about how this building is strong enough to hold the weight of what's above it, but there's no diagonals. So if this was a solid wall and the wind pushed on this, the building would fall over. We don't necessarily need diagonals everywhere. If this was a real building and a structural engineer designed it, I could see them saying that the first bay between these two needs a diagonal, and it could be an X, or it could just be something in the middle and it goes up to that and then down, and then maybe repeat it in that bay. And then I could say maybe you do it every one because of how far apart they are, or maybe you do every other one. I'm not sure. And then you would want the same thing again, maybe at each end going this way and this way, or maybe, I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be an X between every single one in both directions everywhere. It would be here and there in some sort of manner. And I think that some of the new stuff would work good there, like the H-beam or a steel cable, because you could use a steel cable for that. I think a beam would be better because it would resist in both directions. But yeah, so we'll get to that. I just, I definitely want the elevator now. I guess I'm going to save my 5 tickets because I don't have an actual need for anything else. So we'll go ahead and buy this. I'll let her talk. Oh, I guess she doesn't have voice yet for this. Okay. So my intention was always, once you get late game, once you get mid game, you get a jetpack, and we're close to mid game. We'll get a jetpack, and then later you get a hover pack that runs off electricity, and we've got wires run down through the building everywhere. So the hover pack will work everywhere. Right now, though, we don't have either of those. So I did put these stairs in to get you to every floor. And there should be another stairway probably on that corner or something, just for looks. And we're going to do the elevator now, and I'll use it. But later game, you're not going to use the jetpack or you're not going to use the elevator or the stairs because you'll just be flying around everywhere. But it looks cool. The question is, where are we going to put the elevator? So the elevator can only be 200 meters tall. And from right here to the roof, and keep in mind, I think we put one square of the topmost floor, but we didn't put the roof, which will be even with the top of the stairs. So from there to here is about 200 meters, a little less than 200 meters. So I could run an elevator from here to the roof, but I want to go to the ground floor. Well, the problem is that puts us over 200. So if I go to the ground, I'll be able to go up to the very top production floor. I won't be able to go to the roof. I mean, I don't need to go to the roof. There's not going to be anything up there, and the stairs go to the roof, and I'll be able to fly to the roof and all that. So we're going to put the elevator down there. Now, the question is, where do we put it? Do we put it by the stairs? And do we have one on each end? I know at some point we're going to want an extension on this building. I'm going to want to put the hub somewhere. I'm going to want to have some storage containers. Oh, there goes the truck. I want to have some storage containers of personal stuff. When we bring slugs back, we'll run them through a constructor. I'm going to want power because I've set this up to where we can shut power off to each floor. I'm going to want a room with the power coming in and the switches. You know, there's going to be a bunch of stuff there, and I can see the elevator being there, taking you up and down. I don't know where that is. I don't know yet. So probably for now, I think it's time we can finally get rid of this. We're going to put the elevator in. I need to start. I think I have to start the elevator down there, though. So give me a sec. All right, let's hurry up. It's about to get dark. So I had to go make a motor and grab one silica. And we should be ready. So there's the elevator and the elevator stop. Once the elevator's up, you can basically think of the elevator as a bunch of 4-meter foundations that you're going to zoop all at once. The first one you put down, though, is going to turn into an elevator stop. I thought I only needed... Okay, I totally understand why I need more silica, because it's for the glass. I thought I only needed one motor, not two. Okay. Like I was saying, now that it's night. So, think of the elevator as a bunch of 4-meter foundations that you're going to zoop together. Except the very bottom one and the very top one are going to turn into stops. And then anywhere along the way, you'll be able to take one of those. Yeah. So you'd be able to take, this will be like the elevator, right? And it'll be a bunch of them. You'll be able to take one out and replace that with a stop. And then there's a stop there. So that's how that works. So when we put this down, I need 2 motors because I need one for the top and one for the bottom. I'm going to go all the way up, which I know is going to be not high enough to get to the roof, but it's also going to be too high for the top floor, and we'll worry about that later. So I do have to run up the stairs. So there you go. So each one... Wait. Is it still building or something? Because I swear I did this in testing, and I took that one out. Maybe I didn't. Okay, you just add a stop? Oh, you just add a stop. Okay. My bad. Oh, then there's a stop. So now this floor's got a stop. I think only one of them needs power. I don't know which one. I'm not going to put the power there. I'm not going to put the power there. I don't want to look at it wherever it is. But I definitely don't want to look at it on that floor. So we should have some power right there. No, this floor is not connected to power though, is it? Because it's a logistics floor. Ah! Okay. We'll connect it like that. I don't like it. It's ugly, but these things are temporary anyway until we figure out where our power room's going to go. So fine, whatever. So I believe, and I don't know why I jumped up here. I believe that powers the whole elevator. Oh, we have to call it because it's probably, yeah, there. It does play elevator music. So you can, by default, it's going to name the stops based on the height. So 0 is the ground floor. This is this floor. I could do this to go to the next floor. You can also edit this, and we could edit floor 1. Now, I don't think you can change how it says floor 1, but we can call it like ground floor. You can change the color and the icon. I wish there were more icons available. I don't know what you want to call the ground floor. I don't know. It's the bottom. I'm not sure. This one's a production floor, right? So it's already going to say floor 2. So we'll say production floor 1. And then, you know, production. It's a factory. And you can also change the music. That one's not very loud. I think the first one's the most elevator-like. So now you can see we changed our icons. We can go to that. Right. So let me just run through real quick. Oh, that still says 64 because we didn't edit this one, did we? Yeah. So that one's 64. So when you do change it, it's also going to change it on the little sign there, production floor 1. Cool, huh? Let me just run all the way to the top. I'll work my way down. I'm sure this is what you want to see is and that catwalks. Can I say go to 196? I clicked that, didn't I? Maybe I was hovering over the wrong one. So that's logistics 1. That's production floor 2. This is production floor 3. This is no, this is, I missed a floor. Anyway, so you can see, oh, it's right there. So what we'll have to do, we'll put a stop here. Now, is that going to take out the whole elevator? I want to take that out. Can you just add more elevator on? I don't think so. No, maximum height. Okay. Let's do that. I don't need to get to the roof, but it would have been nice to get to the roof. All right. So what I should have done instead of going to 196 is I should have dropped it down 12. I don't know. It looks like if I delete this, I'm going to delete the whole thing, and I'm kind of scared to do it. So I'm not going to do it. But yeah, let me run down and do all the floors now. Okay, so we're up on what will be the top floor, the 4th production floor. It's just one blueprint right now. I need to do all that. And then up there, we need to do the roof. And of course, we still got to build walls and all that stuff. So this is production 4. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom, but we've got production 4. And below that, we have logistics 2. Then we have production 3, production 2, logistics 1, production 1, and then the ground floor. Right? And I explained in the last episode, each logistics floor has a production floor above and below. So the production floor below will have conveyors go up to the logistics floor. Then the production floor above will have conveyors go below to the logistics floor, right? So this logistics is between those two. And then this logistics, that one's above and that one's below. It just is laid out weird. I wish you could kind of like change. I don't think you can change it like that. It goes like that and then that and then that, which is weird. Because I've never been in an elevator where the numbers didn't go up and down. But anyway, so let's go down to the ground floor. And then we can see there's logistics 2, production 2, or production 3, I'm sorry. This is production 2, then logistics 1, and then production 1. And then the ground floor. Now, speed-wise, I don't know that that's any faster than just running up the stairs. It's more fun than running up the stairs. Definitely, I don't want to record when I'm running up the stairs, and I don't mind recording this. So, hey, there's the elevator. We did it. And I did, it's not on, it's in between 2 foundations because I think we're going to do these cylinders all the way up on the ends. I'm not for sure on that. And we'll do something different with the power. I could even honestly add a floor to the top that we'll never use just for power, maybe. I don't know. Or have a catwalk. Oh, and yeah, this catwalk was so I could run down the line and show everything. I'm going to tear that down. I would like a catwalk that high inside somewhere, like maybe right up against those and near the ceiling that runs down, so you can kind of like overview everything. Because right now, I can't see any of that stuff. And even when I get up here, like I got to jump to try to see what's going on. So let's run down, check our concrete real quick. And it looks like it's all flowing still. So the episode's getting a little long. I did not think it was going to take, I mean, look, yeah, we did the concrete. I did a lot of other stuff, troubleshooting, explaining and things. I did not think we were just going to get the concrete. I wanted to get this done, which is going to be, yeah. And the signs, I went through and I changed the numbers, right? Because we can have up to 12 things on each row. So I changed the numbers. Most of the signs have not been changed. Let me get down to where. Okay, so here's one I've changed. So the copper, we've got 3 belts of copper coming in, right? And it's weird, but it's that one, and that one. So there's the 3 belts of copper. Each one's 240 copper, not iron. Yeah, so I need to change that. That's, yeah, so 720, and then 720, and 240. So, yeah, other than that, saying iron instead of copper. That's correct. That one's for the Caterium. This is for the ingots, and I didn't add up how many that does. The iron one, I've got 5 on each side. There is 5 outputs on each side, but input-wise, one side should have 4 and one side should have 5. And then I kind of did the steel, but then it kind of shrunk down. I'm not sure I should start at the bottom. I'm not sold. I want this information, but I don't think I want it laid out like that. I think we'll probably lay it out differently. But yeah. All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Next time, we're going to do the sulfur and the coal. And we're going to make compacted coal. And we're going to make black powder, I think. And then here is going to be for the SAM ore. And we'll have to go down in the hole, which is, I think, it's right there. And we'll have to get that SAM ore up here and start making the first step. We can't do anything else with the SAM ore except the first step. So, yeah. See you next time.